So for the spices, for the tofu scramble and the potato and veggie medley, or potato and veggie Deliciousooo in this, whatever, I like to use paprika, cumin, thyme, pepper, oregano. This is nutritional yeast, which I bought from a health food store. It's got a lot of vitamins and nutrients in it. I believe it has a little bit of protein, B vitamins, other goodness. I'll add some more information about that. Faux show. And then I might throw in some parsley with the potatoes. I've got some coconut oil. Here's an onion. It's just a half, so I might end up cutting a little bit more of this full one. I've got some carrots. I've got garlic. I've got potatoes, which I'm cutting right now, in here. And I've got some tofu, frozen asparagus, frozen broccoli, the organic foursome, which has carrots, peas, green beans, and corn. Yummy! So I'm going to start off by cutting up my potatoes, and then I'm going to put them in this pan right here and just kind of cook them with some coconut oil until they're almost done, and they're going to be a little bit soft. And when they get soft, then I'm going to add in the frozen vegetables. So that way they don't really cook too much, they just cook so that they're still crunchy. And I've turned the heat on right here to medium. I don't know if you can see that. I'm going to cover that. I have coconut oil in here, and I'm going to cut up some garlic and onion and put it in this pan and simmer those until they're cooked through all. So there's the onions, and they're just in some coconut oil, and they're on medium heat. Still recording. Alright, whoop. I just cut off the end. Oh, this one's a little Siamese twin. Okay, another end, and then a little. Sorry. You're not invited to the party. Peel off all of that. And bam, put that there, and then do the same thing with this guy. Haha. Take off your wetsuit. I just was assaulted by the garlic. There's like something sharp on the garlic, and I jabbed myself underneath my nail. That really hurt. So then I just take my garlic and I scoop it onto my knife and just put it inside my pan. And I'm just gonna let that simmer for a little while. I'm just gonna grab a few more potatoes to add in there. I want more potatoes. Oh, I'm gonna turn you down a little bit. I'm going to take a little bit of water in this measuring cup and just add it to the potatoes. That helps them cook a little bit quicker and prevents them from burning. I'm going to take, first, paprika. And let me get in here. So we got paprika, and then in here we've got some garlic and onion, and they're simmering. I'm just going to coat them with paprika. If it would come out. You know, sometimes what I do, I'm just gonna set this down like that. I'll go like this, the cap like that. I'll measure out like that much. And then, because I use a lot of spice, so with the tofu. Tofu tastes like nothing until you add seasoning to it. So that's what I do with that. And you could stir it up so it's kind of like an orange color, but I'm gonna actually add a little bit more paprika because I'm a crazy lady. I'm a crazy lady. World around the world. I like it hot. Okay, so here's some more paprika. That was like 2 capfuls, not full capfuls, but like if you put it together, it'd probably make 1 full capful. It was like 2 halves. Excellent, excellent. Now we're gonna do the same thing with the cumin. I'm gonna fill it up. Oh, that's too much. Okay, so it's like a half capful. Just gonna put it in there, and then I got some on my knife, so I'm just gonna dust it off there. So now your onion and garlic look like that. They're kind of turning like a brown color because of the cumin. Stir it up. Spicy. And then I'm gonna add thyme. So I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm going to fill my cap with a good amount, like a half capful. And whoop, 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 whoop. I'm going to just sprinkle it all over. And then stir it up. So now you've got some heavily spiced garlic and onions, and you're ready to add your tofu. Meanwhile, your potatoes are still cooking. Okay, so I've got my tofu, and I am just going to move these out of the way now that we've used them. And I'm just going to break little pieces of tofu off with my fingers. I've got 1 full block of extra firm tofu. I got it at Trader Joe's. It's not soaking in too much water, so I didn't have to drain it first. But if it's soaking in a good amount of water, I would definitely let it drain. Like take it out of the packaging and set it on like a cutting board or something after you dump all the water out. So I'm just breaking it up with my fingers into chunks. Doesn't matter, because it's tofu scramble. Okay, so I just broke it up into chunks and now it's in there. And I'm going to take my spoon and stir it up so all of the spices that are on the garlic and onions combines with the tofu. So now we're just going to let that cook. It's going to take a while, probably like 10 minutes or so, because I keep it on, we'll keep it on low to medium heat. We don't want to burn our tofu, but we do want it to be heated throughout. Okay. So we got that stirred up. It's got a lot of onions, a lot of tofu, and garlic. And now I'm going to go ahead and add some spices to my potatoes. Now that they've been cooking just a little bit, so they're not so hard and they can absorb some of those spices. So I'm just going to move this because bad design is really inconvenient. So here's my potatoes that are cooking. I'm just going to stir them up. So I'm just cooking these potatoes in coconut oil and some water. I just did about a quarter to a half cup of water so that they would cook a little faster. And there are no spices yet, so I'm going to add some spices in right now. In my potatoes, I'm going to sprinkle some thyme. I know I've got no cap on this. I'm just sprinkling thyme over it. Okay. Then I'm going to add paprika. Same thing as like with the tofu. Except, ooh. Okay, I'm going to sprinkle in some paprika. Kind of making it like a Cajun spice. Good. And then I'm going to add oregano. Looks like Christmas in there. Alright, this is sizzling nicely, so I'm going to stir it up so we cook everything evenly. And then I'm going to throw in the mix some pepper. Some peppercorn. Okay, now I throw in some parsley. Spicing it up. And a lot of it's going to go into the water and just add to the overall seasoning of everything. It's not going to all stick to the potatoes. So there's that. And there's the tofu scramble sizzling. And then I'm going to cover this back up with the lid. Put it back on the heat. Okay, so I'm just going to grab a fork. And that's how I test the potatoes. I go in and I poke them. And they're still very hard, so they need to cook for quite a while longer. That's really sizzling. And you can see the onions are starting to turn kind of brown on the edges, so I'm going to take the temperature and bring it down to the high end of low. I'm going to throw in some carrots. So we just let that go. Just keep an eye on it. Stir it. I brought the temperature up back here to medium-high because it doesn't seem to be cooking fast enough. I think my burners aren't working properly, so on your heat settings it may just be medium or low medium even, because you do not want to burn anything. So keep the heat lower. It's better for it to kind of saturate in the spices anyway. You don't want to power cook and like burn the edges but not cook the middle. Okay, so my tofu is almost done. I like it so that the onions are golden around the edges, and some of the smaller bits of tofu have some golden on them as well. But definitely, you know, don't cook them too much. I don't know if you can see kind of like a golden color. So that's almost done, and then I just also checked the potatoes, and they're nice and soft. So I'm going to go ahead and add my vegetables. I'm going to start with asparagus. I just got some frozen asparagus. Yeah, like a big handful and just throw them in there. And then I'm going to add some broccoli. And then I'm also going to throw in the 4 vegetable. And I'm going to stir this all up. Lid back on and set it on the heat. And it's only going to cook for a few more minutes. And I'm going to turn down the heat on the tofu a little bit because I don't really want it to cook too much more. Okay, the last step with the tofu is I'm going to take this, okay, I'm going to take my nutritional yeast, turn the heat off, and I'm going to sprinkle it all over the top. And then just stir it. And then I'm gonna check on my vegetables. Stir those up too. Oh, it smells good. And let me just show you what that looks like. So here's the potatoes and vegetables. It's a little hard to stir because I put kind of a lot in here. But I kind of like to make a lot of something, so I have leftovers that I can bring to school or work the next day. So you just want to keep cooking it until your vegetables are cooked to your desired consistency. They're still too hard right now, so I like them to be crunchy, but cooked through. So I'm going to put the lid back on and cook those just a little bit longer. And it's still on, let's see, medium heat because, again, that burner is kind of silly. And then this one is off, as you can see, and it's just got nutritional yeast on it. This is the finished meal. You've got your tofu scramble on the right and your Deliciousooo vegetables on the left with potatoes. And I'm going to eat it now. So, peace out.